Good morning, and thank you for joining us this morning for breakfast. And I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Dr. Matthew Robinson. I serve as the chairman of the Delaware Sports Commission and also as chairman of the Slam Dunk to the Beach tournament. My full-time job is I'm a professor at the University of Delaware, and in January I will assume the position of interim athletic director for the University of Delaware. Before I begin speaking today, Delaware, we know, is a small state, but when we come together, we can do great things. And I think the event that we've held last year and we're holding this year in Slam Dunk to the Beach is a great example of that. There's a lot of people coming together with a common cause, and it's leading to great things for Sussex County as well as the whole state of Delaware. So I think it's important that we recognize all those individuals and entities that have made this event possible. Number one, in relaunching it last year, and now being back for the second year and hopefully for years to come. We're very fortunate to have with us today some of our governmental leaders from our state and county. And I don't believe Speaker Schwarzkopf made it today, but Harvey Kenton is here. Representative Ruth Briggs King is also here. Representative Dave Wilson is here, as well as State Senator Ernie Lopez. We also have with us some Sussex County council members. President Michael Vincent's here. Councilman Rob Arlett. I don't think I saw George make it in. And then we also have with us from the Lewis Chamber of Commerce, Betsy Reamer. I'd also like to recognize real important partners for us. And again, when we created the Sports Commission, it was a synergy between the sport community and the tourism and business community in the state of Delaware. And two of the leading proponents in making this all come together are one, Scott Thomas from the Southern Delaware Tourism Board. Scott, right? And then Linda Parkowski from the State Tourism Director. The funny thing about Slam Dunk, if you had to point to one person that made this thing happen, I'm going to say it's Linda Parkowski. And the real funny thing is, I don't think she knows a thing about basketball. So it's truly incredible that she's the one driving this whole thing. So, but again, we wouldn't do it without Linda. Okay. And then the other is the importance that we have the corporate sponsors. And again, we can't thank them enough for their support. They're the ones that really make it possible in terms of the getting the financial support we need to make the event go. So number one, we want to thank Grotto Pizza, Pepsi, Acme Motors, and McGee Motors, who are large sponsors. And most, we definitely have to recognize the Atlantic Sands Hotel and Mike. I think both last year as well as this year, I think our the visitors, the teams, the visitors, the families have all had incredible stays here at the hotel. And again, what a beautiful property right here on the beachfront. So Mike, thanks for everything you and your staff has done. Okay. And then also in the local, it was great this year that we were able to engage a lot more of the businesses down here in Sussex County to get behind the tournament. And people like Alex Perez and the Highway 1 Group, Scott Kammerer and the Sodell Concepts, the Rusty Rudder Restaurant, Big Fish Grill, the Starboard, Bethany Blues, Summer House, as well as Community Bank of Delaware, Shell Brothers, and the Carl M. Freeman Foundation. All came on board to really support us. And I see Martin Donovan, who's one of our Delaware Sports Commission board members, and with the bank. Martin, truly over the 8 years, I value our friendship and all you've done really driving things forward. And the last is, there's so many entities that get behind this as far as the operations of it, promoting it, the social media, the volunteers that we have that are associated with the event, and the Cape Henlopen School District, and number one, the unbelievable facility we have. And I know Bob Salento is back there, the athletic director from Cape Henlopen. Incredible facility. And people always asking me about how are you getting these teams and how are you putting this together, and the college coaches last night talking about this is such a well-run tournament. I take all the credit, but really it's position sports. With Mark Steigerwalt and Will, I think are both, well, Mark's actually over at the gym as usual working, but they really do an incredible job of helping us identify the teams and getting them here and putting on that event. So couldn't do it without them. Dover Motorsports is involved with our sponsorship sales as well as our ticketing. ATI Physical Therapy helping us out at the event as far as providing the medical services. Event Allies, TSN Media, and Jerry, I think, is here. And tell you what, I got to give a big round of applause to Jerry DeFilly. Jerry, I think, is here. And you know, people always ask me about, how are you getting these teams and how are you putting this together, and the college coaches last night talking about this is such a well-run tournament. I take all the credit, but really it's position sports. With Mark Steigerwalt and Will, I think are both, well, Mark's actually over at the gym as usual working, but they really do an incredible job of helping us identify the teams and getting them here and putting on that event. So couldn't do it without them. Jerry really did an incredible job this year, reaching out to the business community, both upstate, downstate, to get more businesses engaged this year. So incredible job there. The DIAA is a great supporter for us. IAABO, the University of Delaware Sport Management Program. At the front table here, we have students from UD that they're on break, but they're down here now working the event. And actually, where's Brian? Is Brian Hill still here? There's Brian in the back. Brian actually graduated last year and decided to come back anyway. He worked the event last year, loved it so much, he drove down from Syracuse, New York. So Brian, thanks for that. Thanks for that effort. And you know, it's great to talk about our students, but like I said, I step up to serve as the interim athletic director starting in January. But also, you see a presence of UD athletics down here, from Jimmy Smith doing our book. There you are, Jimmy. I'll look right in the camera. Get my good side. Make sure you get my good side, all right? But Jimmy, and again, we have Ricky Deadweiler, who stepped up and became a board member this year, and Scott Stellenheimer's at the desk, and Scott Klatzen, the voice of the Blue Hens, is our media guy. So really a strong presence at the University of Delaware associated with that event. So I'm proud of my students, proud of the UD staff. Okay, and also I mentioned Dave Arthur, our former executive director for the Sports Commission, who's now with UD Athletics. We also got to thank the Cube and WRDE TV, iHeartMedia and WDSD. TapSnap, which is providing some of our social media and photos from the event. The Factory, which has provided the fan-friendly experience for our young spectators, and also they're providing gym space for some of our teams to practice on their off days. The Cape Gazette has provided incredible coverage for us. Delaware 87ers, they've been very supportive with us, and all the other vendors that we've had out at the event. So again, just one big thanks to everybody, if we could, with a round of applause. And one final recognition we'd like to make is that Mark and Eric Anderson are here. For those of you may not know, Mark's son Jason served as our Senior Director of Ticket Operations for our event last year and for Dover International Speedway. And very unfortunately, Jason passed away this past year in a tragic automobile incident. And Jason was an incredible passion for the event last year, and we were just talking before that one of my memories of last year was that Jason tapped me on the shoulder, just giving us the ticket count, throughout the days. So I'd like to turn things over because we've set up, Mark has set up the Jason Anderson Foundation for Youth Sports. We have the 50-50 raffle that we're doing all 3 days of the event, and the proceeds from that are going to that foundation. So Mark, would you care to say a few words?
Thanks, Matt. I appreciate it. I was going to stand up here and tell you about the foundation from the heart, but I realize there's a game at noon, so in the interest of time, I'm just going to read to you a one-page that I have here, and it's kind of a self-imposed time limit. First of all, let me thank the Delaware Sports Commission, the Slam Dunk Committee, for giving us, the foundation, the opportunity to participate in this year's event. It's our first inaugural fundraiser, and we really appreciate it, so thank you all very much. I'm sure there are many of you here today that remember Jason from last year's tournament. He was that ticket guy from Dover Motorsports that arrived early in the morning, long before the first game began, and typically stayed until the last game ended. He was there to make sure the ticket process worked, to resolve any problems as they arose, answer any questions, help those that needed assistance, and support his Dover ticket team. And yes, he also hoped to watch his alma mater, Mount St. Joe, win a few games. On January 18th, just 3 short weeks after the 2014 Slam Dunk event ended, Jason lost his life in an automobile accident. He was 33 years old. His last second actions helped save the lives of his wife Katie and his 1-year-old son Ryan. That was Jason. But the foundation isn't about Jason. It's about how Jason lived his life. Not only was he very active with the Sports Commission, the Slam Dunk event, the Delaware Chamber of Commerce, he and his wife volunteered for the Autism Society of Delaware, where Jason also played a mentoring role. And they also served on the board of the Brain Injury Association of Delaware as well. Jason was that type of individual. He was always there to help, to volunteer, to assist, to arrive early, to stay late, to do what was needed. Jason always gave back. In establishing this foundation, we took two things in mind. First, how can we give back, just as Jason would have given back? And second, how can we tie it into something which Jason would be proud of? And the answer to that was simple: youth sports. Being actively involved in sports has always been a big part of our family, and was even more so for Jason in his personal, educational, and professional life. In our foundation website, we focus on the values of teamwork, leadership, and friendship, as they embody values that we believe are essential for the development of all young men and women. But in addition to these values, participation in an organized sports activity adds a fourth dimension of physical fitness. Teamwork, leadership, and friendship are skill sets that can be fostered at any young age via many different channels, both inside and outside the home and the classroom. But only through organized sports can you combine that with the fitness benefits our children gain from properly monitored physical fitness activities. So our mission is simple: to provide children in need the opportunity to participate in an organized local community sports program in order to gain valuable life experiences and fitness benefits that come with participation in a nationally recognized and community-sponsored youth sports activity. With this mission in mind, and as a 501c3 nonprofit organization, our goal now is to allocate the donations raised via a grant application process. Grants will be awarded by the Foundation Board to youth sports organizations in Delaware that can clearly outline how the grant will be used to support children in need. We will be accepting grant applications by the end of January and plan to start making awards by the end of February. For more information on how to help or to apply for a grant, please visit our website at jasonandersonfoundation.org. Help us give back just like Jason did. I'll close with one final comment and one final statement that I typically close now most meetings with, and this goes to the parents. Hug your kids every day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark. In Delaware, we're truly blessed with these great beaches, and the idea of using basketball to bring visitors down here to the Sussex County and the beaches. And really, it's like you said, it's a combination. It's number one, offering great basketball, but it's also important. It's about the impact we have on the local economy. Last year in the event, we were able to have players such as Isaiah Briscoe, who currently plays for the Kentucky Wildcats, as well as Sheck Diallo, who's currently with the Kansas Jayhawks. Last year, we had over 10,000 visitors for the event over the 3 days, and we generated over $1 million in positive economic impact for Sussex County. So we'd like to think last year's event was a combination of a success on the court as well as a success for the local business community. For this year's event, we got off to, I think, a good start last night as far as the quality of the games and the teams. We had a full gym for the majority of the evening. But basically, compared from last year, we have 19 teams up from 16 teams. We have 12 of the top 100 players in the country, as rated by ESPN, participating in the event, and 5 of the top 25 programs in the country, according to Max Preps. So we'd like to think there's some good basketball going to be played over the gym. That was definitely last night and over the next 2 days. So again, today's really, as we talk about it, was an opportunity for us just to say thank you to everyone that's involved with the event. Specifically, when we start, the group that I really want to point towards too is that the board that's come together as far as Slam Dunk, and many of them are here. And if I just call your names, you could stand up. But Scott's here, Linda Parkowski, Dave Arthur, Jerry Kabasa, and Rick Deadweiler, I think, is here somewhere. Okay, and then last but I don't think least, Jerry DeFilly. So there are board members. And I get kind of tired of getting pats on the back and people saying great job, because I'm busy just trying to stay out of the way of these guys, the great stuff that they do. So it's an incredible group of people, and like I said, we're a small state, but when we come together as one, upstate, downstate, all as one, it's amazing and incredible what we can do. And I always think about this with the event. There's a great quote by John Wooden. Always says, "It's amazing what you can do when nobody's interested in taking credit." And I think the group that's come together is no egos. It's just people saying, "Hey, let's make this thing great for the state of Delaware." And the last guy, I'll just point out real quick, is Scott Klatson's done an incredible job for us in the media. So thanks a lot with that, Scott. Now, to bring things to a close today, I don't know if you noticed, but I'd like to say that I pride myself on being a sharp dresser, and I'm a little casual here today. I don't know if you've heard, but a couple of my colleagues, myself, will be taking a jump into the ocean. And a little history behind that with it was I kind of made an offhanded comment last year, because again, there was a lot of uncertainty going into last year. And I said, well, look, if there's a year 2, I'll go jump in the ocean. Well, unfortunately for me, it came to fruition. But fortunately for everybody else, it came to fruition. And the second thing is, that I think really reinforces, what this is all about is last year we had a team from Kansas, Sunrise Christian Academy, and I was standing right outside there, outside the window, and I finished breakfast and I walked out with the coach, and he's there and looking out over the ocean, and just, man, he goes, I hope you guys just don't take this for granted. So the Delaware beaches are beautiful, Sussex County is beautiful, and Delaware, state of Delaware is a great place. So Slam Dunk to the Beach 2 is back. And let's have a great last 2 days. And also, I know we got a lot of the teams here. We got Bishop McConnell over here. I think we got some guys from Roselle. So appreciate you guys coming back, actually, for the second year. So everybody, thanks for everybody coming. And then I think it's just Scott Thomas is jumping in. I think, is that how it changed? So if anybody wants to see what it looks like to jump in the ocean when it's about 30 degrees out, we're going out there now, okay?
No! Woo! Slam Dunk 2015! Photo of you guys.
Sure! I mean, it's gotta be a quick one.
It better be quick! Woo! Thank you. Woo!
Thank you. Pull my hand. Oh my God.
Woo!
So was it everything and more?
Everything and more.
Totally worth it.
Everything and more, man.
Oh boy, good to be back. Good to be back.